Record. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We are back today with another incredible episode of The Journey Within. Each week, we get to connect with different healers, storytellers, vision holders as they walk us through their journey within dark night of the soul experience. So today's guest is unbelievable, unreal. He is a total badass. Not only is he a ju-jutsu black belt, super awesome because he's a psychic. Like, who wouldn't want to talk to a psychic? This man is also wearing some pretty neat glasses right now, spreading on the peace and love. He has an incredible practice called Little Forest Retreat. He's going to talk a little bit more about that and really show how he is helping people regain their power, which I am all about. So welcome, Mark Stevens. We are so happy to have you here on The Journey Within and with those kick-ass glasses.
Let's bring on the peace, love, and healing. A little bit of peace. We all need some peace, love, and healing. So, hello, everybody. Great to be on the show here with you today, Andrew, and great to be, sharing a little bit of a story with everybody tuning in. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, so wonderful to have you. So, before we start, Mark, tell us a little bit about Little Forest, what you're doing, and then we'll dive deeper into your upbringing, because I know that you were doing a lot of really neat stuff from a young age. So I really want to dive deep into that.
Yeah, so here at the retreat, at Little Forest Health Retreat, what we're doing is we have people come in with everything from anxiety, bad habits, over drinking, smoking, maybe up to 80 cigarettes a day. One fellow smoking since World War II. We have people coming in who eat 12 family blocks of chocolate for afternoon tea, which is 15,000 calories for afternoon tea. We have people with some of the worst habits. We recently just had a young woman in her 30s, who had a severe addiction to energy drinks and jelly snakes, the candy snakes, the rubbery, the sugar snakes. And she had been addicted for 10 or 12 years, but she'd had a double lung transplant 10 years ago. She'd already developed type 2 diabetes, and she kept having all these energy drinks and sugar snake lollies, candies, just to give her the energy, and they became a worse and worse addiction. I spoke to her last night. She hasn't touched anything for 2 months. She's jumping out of her skin. Old Merv, who'd been smoking since World War II. Every year I get a call from him. He says, "Hello, Mark, this is Merv. Just want to thank you for helping me get off the cigarettes. I thank God for my life, and I thank you for getting me off the cigarettes." He's 90 years old now. I went and had a cup of tea with him recently. He's an absolute legend, lives on his own, but he's a wonderful guy. I hung out for a couple of hours with him. So we have people come in, and that's almost like they become part of our extended family, where they tell us about their successes and their challenges. And so we're really helping people to reset their mind, to reset their life, to turn down the stress dial, to turn down the anxiety dial, to turn up the happiness, the compassion, the love dial, to feel more inspired, more motivated, and just healthier and happier. That's what we do here at Little Forest Health Retreat. We do it we do 3-day, 5-day, and 7-day programs, live-in programs, where people come, and we start at 6 a.m. in the morning with Qigong, Tai Chi, yoga breathing, followed by meditations, followed by mindful eating, where we'll do a mindful eating breakfast of whatever that healthy breakfast is, mindful juices throughout the day, mindful pieces of fruit. So everything turns into a meditation. It's a bit like wax on, wax off. You can turn anything into meditation, and that's part of what we teach, to self-hypnosis and meditation, and we do that till 9 p.m. at night most days, and people just float out, having left behind all their baggage, all their worries, all their the backpack of life. We take that backpack of life and we empty it out, help people empty it out so they can feel inspired and motivated and happy, and change that story. They change the old "I can't" to "I can," the "I'll do it later" till "I'll do it now," the "I'm not good enough" to "not only am I good enough, but I'm more than good enough. I do deserve it. I am worthy." And that's a big part of what we do.
Wow. I think it's so beautiful that you're giving people a space, because I feel like a lot of us want to start getting into that meditation practice. And we touched on this a little bit before we started recording, but it's not everyone has 30 minutes or an hour to meditate. Like, I'll say it. I wake up at 5 every morning so that I have 2 hours to dedicate to myself. I know that not everybody has that, one. And two, when you've been living a certain way all your life, you're in this autopilot. So trying to start all of these new practices can sometimes be a little bit intimidating, and it can be a lot on your nervous system. So the fact
No,
that you are providing that space, I think it's incredible.
yeah, and look, that's the part of what we do. We're coaching people, we're helping and supporting people to create a mindset where they do create that ritual in the morning, that daily routine that becomes a ritual. Because when it becomes a ritual, it becomes important, it becomes sacred, and then you're going to do it no matter what. But we always advise people, especially if they've got 3 or 4 or 5 kids and they've got 2 or 3 jobs and they're a single mum or a single dad, it's hard to go. Like with you, I'm the same. I wake up at 5 a.m. every morning or 4:30, and I've got a 2 to 3 hour routine, which is all my meditation, yoga, goal setting, qigong, tai chi, all those practices. But not everybody can do that. And so what we're doing is helping people declutter their mind, declutter their life, so they can turn around and go, I'm going to start with 5 or 10 minutes. I'm going to start with a 1-minute goal setting with my plan for the day, for health, to incorporate that into my daily life, because the most important appointment you will have all day is the appointment with you.
Mm-hmm.
That's the most important appointment. And that's what I say when I'm working with CEOs, with high school children. The most important thing on your action plan for today, your to-do list, is to actually, create that time for yourself. But we advise people to start off with 5 or 10 or 15 minutes, something that's doable and achievable. Don't try to make it too complicated. Make it as easy as possible with simple breathing, simple meditation exercises, self-hypnosis. Listen to a session. Like this morning, we've had torrential rain here for 3 days. And as the first light began, I opened up the curtains and blinds and I just laid there, looked out at the tree and just listened to the rain hitting the roof. And then every now and again, I heard a little bird sound. Then I just closed my eyes every now and again and just listened to the rain coming down the roof, listened to the odd bird sound. So that's what I meditated on today. There's so many different ways in which we can meditate. There's so many different ways in which we can do self-hypnosis. There's so many different ways in which we can inspire and motivate ourselves. But simplicity is the absolute best. When you can make it simple, when you can make it easy, it becomes doable, and then you can incorporate it in. Plus, one of the big things which I touched on that we work with people is what else can you turn into a meditation? Because meditation means to meditate on something, really means to give it your attention, to give it your focus, and then as you get distracted, you come back to the meditation. So, when I was doing that meditation this morning, my mind started to think about this, and I thought, no, back to the sound of the rain, back to the breathing, back to the sound of the rain, back to the breathing, breathing in peace, breathing out, release. And I might do that to get body and mind together as one, body and mind together as one, to keep coming back to now. But you can turn doing the dishes into a meditation. My wife said to me this morning, there were some dishes left from last night. And she said, she was out. She said, can you wash up? I said, what's up? What's up? You want me to wash up? Yeah, okay, I'll wash up. Yeah, let's wash up. So I got in there and I did the wash up, but I turned it into a meditation. I put the water on. I watched the bubbles, and I just thought nothing else for the next 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 3 minutes enters my mind. And I just got into it and just looked at the shine of the plate. So I turned that into a moving meditation. And then I walked past the bedroom and said, what's up, all done? What's up?
I love your energy. You're so, this is a side note, kind of pivoting into a different thing. What's your, do you know your astrology sign at all?
Yes, so I'm a Taurian tiger with a monkey rising. So I'm a Taurus, year of the tiger with a monkey rising.
Oh man.
So that's me. I'm a Taurian tiger, and I am a typical Taurus. I am, I am a bit creative and artistic. I am a bit of a bull at a gate. I like to charge forward, and I like my feet on the ground. I like being in the water for a surf, or I like being in the water swimming, but I don't like being on the ocean, because cows don't like, bulls don't like being on the ocean. We like to have our feet in the dirt, on the ground, on the mountain. And so, yeah, so that's me.
Oh my God, I can totally feel that energy. There is this kind of grounding energy to you, I will say. It's very, I'm a Gemini, so I'm always like here. Gemini Sagittarius, so it's always keeping me up here.
You got to keep coming back to the earth, keep coming back to the ground. And sometimes I float off, but my wife, who's really psychic, she knows what you're thinking before you think it. She knows when I'm in another room and I've stopped breathing. She calls out, "Are you breathing, Mark?" And I go, "Yes." She goes, "But you weren't, were you?" And I go, "Well, okay," caught out again. And so she's so tuned in. She knows when people are about to ring. She knows instantly, meeting people, what they're, where they're stuck, what their main challenges are. So we work together. She runs the kitchen and runs the, program for bookings and dealing with people. And we've got our Mind Free app. So she deals with all that, while I deal with the groups and the sessions and do the media and all that sort of thing. But we also, she's sings like an angel. So we've started putting her voice, her beautiful hypnotic voice, into some sessions as well. And people are just saying, I am dreaming, I fall asleep, float to sleep, just hearing Linda's voice saying, you are strong, you can do it, it is possible, and so on. So yeah, so we do a lot of that sort of thing. We work together in that way.
Wow, shout out to Linda. We need to get you on here, Linda. Wow, that is so incredible. That's so awesome that you're able to, both of you, kind of hone into your passions and work together in such an incredible way. That's so beautiful. So kind of pivoting in, what were you going to say? Sorry.
I was just going to say, it's all about helping people transform their lives and getting them unstuck, because we become stuck. We really get stuck in an old pattern, an old habit, an old thought, an old event that happened a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. And subconsciously, we keep replaying that event. Even though we might not think about it or even picture it in our mind, what happens is we relive those feelings. So somebody says, blah, 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 and you go, blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden, you're reliving the feeling from blah, 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 25 or 35 or 45 or 55 years ago. I had a woman recently at a retreat, and she said, I'm getting over a really messy divorce. And I said, was that just recently? And she said, 15 years ago. And I thought my mum would say, build a bridge, get over it. It's time to move forward. But, sometimes we just get so stuck in our story that we're telling ourselves, and we keep telling ourselves that story. It keeps making us feel a certain way. And then we just go, it's too hard. It's all too much. I've just got too much on. I don't have the time. But get up at 5 o'clock. How could I do that? Yet the same person will often be sitting there till 10, 11 or midnight watching crime TV shows and going, I can't even get to sleep. If you're waiting for an autopsy result at 11 o'clock at night, or you're waiting to find out who done it, and then you're trying to go, I wonder why I can't get to sleep. I just can't get to sleep. I better have some more sugar. And then your liver's going, whoa, energy. Your pancreas is going, release insulin, party time. And then you're going, all right, it's late at night, I know, but I'm going to get out there and start partying. It's party time. It's like, let's go and have señorita, the grito, and it all gets a little bit crazy. So, I like to have a little bit of fun too. I like to actually incorporate laughter therapy into what I'm doing, so that when we go through that transformation of digging in to the unconscious, subconscious part of the mind, and we're clearing away baggage, and we're getting lessons from the past, and we're ready to move forward, sometimes that's it's a big journey, and people can be like, whoa, I'm exhausted. So then I keep bringing in a little bit of laughter therapy here and there. I'll do things like this. I'll put these glasses on, which are my tea leaf reading glasses, and and then I'll turn around and they'll say, are they tea strainers? I'm going, they certainly are. And they'll go, so do you really read tea leaves? And I'll go, I read the book. And they go, wow, that's cool. That's so cool. And then what I do is I say, all right, close your eyes now. And they've all got a teacup with their tea leaves in it.
Mhm.
I'll say, close your eyes. And then meanwhile, I put on this dark haired wig, like your hair fluffed up, like all big 1980s fluff up. And then the disco hair. And then I put on some, enlarging my chest.
Yeah.
And then I say slowly, I feel the spirit of Madame Markovsky entering me now. And then I go, Madame Markovsky, she tea leaf read to the stars. Little boy, little girl, you're telling me? Oh, what's your bigger problem? Okay, I'll look. And then I look at the tea leaves, but I actually do, knowing what their challenges are, and then I'll look into the tea leaves and I'll see a horse with wings. And I kid you not, and I say, I see the horse with the wings. It's beautiful. You see it? I see it. I'm not making this stuff up. Is it true? And this is to me. Do you see a represent? And then I'll go into a really strong inspirational of what the actual tea leaves have said to me. Even though I'm making fun of it, a lot of people go, oh, tea leaf reading, that's not true. And I know it is because I've had tea leaves read and I've gone, how did you know that about me? How did you know? And so I'll incorporate a little bit of the real into the fun, but the messages are strong and they're there. Or I'll see a beautiful tree and I'll go, this, she's a represent. Little boy, I'm not sorry, little girl, the tree of life. And to me, it's like a beautiful garden. You got to stop and smell the rose. Are you too busy? You got to slow down. And so I do all that and we have a whole lot of fun. Yeah. So that's what we do. And at the end of the day, it is all pretty groovy, baby. Groovy.
Man, I needed someone like you
silly.
12 years ago.
Enough of that silly stuff. But the fact is, I do absolutely love what I do.
Oh,
I love
man.
it. Okay, that's enough of the silly stuff. Moving right on.
No, I love it. I feel like when we're able to have fun when it's so serious, it makes it less, it makes it lighter, it makes it more enjoyable instead of this, I have to do this. So I'm so happy that you're showing that kind of childlike energy.
Well, we have, like, a lot of people have depression, and some of those people here at the retreat, and I have them say, lean down, look down towards your right foot, really slouch, really take on an oh me, oh my posture. And as you're doing that, just say, I'm really happy to be here. And people go, I'm really happy to be here. And I'll go, sit back up and notice how your thoughts, your feelings were quite depressive because you were looking right down. You were slouching down. Then I say, stand up, pump your fist, roll your shoulders back, big smile, big happy face as you say, I'm really depressed. And people go, I'm depressed. And then they're going, but I have got depression. And now I'm laughing about it for the first time ever.
Ooh,
change your physiology, change your state, change your thoughts, and you'll change your life.
Oh, that's so true. I remember I was working at a bank a few years ago, and I don't know how there's research done that I saw afterwards, but at this moment I didn't know that. And I had a really bad experience with someone. So I didn't want it to ruin my day. And I bend down and I just start going, ha, 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 ha. Eventually I start laughing. And my coworker's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm forcing myself to laugh so that my body thinks that this is an exciting experience and not actually a crappy one based on this. And it really does help. It does.
Change your state. One of the things we do in one of our hypnosis sessions, or we do a lot of hypnosis, a lot of meditations, because I've been doing this for a long time, but one of the sessions is to create a force field of energy or an energy shield around you. So when people come and they project their negativity, you just smile on the inside and go, okay, and it bounces off back to them or just bounces off to the universe. And that's one session we do, a force field of energy, a positive shield, a protective shield. And another one we do, another meditation, is the delete button. So I have people go into the control room of their mind and imagine all the controls from energy. We turn the energy up. Anxiety, we turn the anxiety controls down. And then I give little suggestions in between. But then we find the delete button and we reset the delete button so that if anybody says, blah, 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 you can just go, delete. Delete. You don't have to say, I'm deleting what you're saying, but you walk off and you just think, delete, just like you would junk mail. You don't sit there all day saying, oh, look, I can buy discount medication. Oh, look, I can get a university degree for $40 from this university of the back of nowhere. Oh, look, I can buy cheap Viagra. Oh, look, I can buy this and that and this. Oh, look, this place with a .ru is selling me a real Hermes handbag for only $395. I better buy that from that .ru company and give my card details. Oh, and look, there's someone from some South African or Middle African country that wants to give me $20 million. And all I need to give them is my credit card details, my signature, and my photo ID. And they're going to send me 20 million US, not Australian dollars, which is like about, $300, but 20 million US dollars. I better give them all my details. And why haven't they contacted me back? What happened to them? But what do? You delete. All that spam mail, junk mail, or you filter blocks it coming in. So we do sessions where we set up the filter in the unconscious mind so you're not taking on board everybody else's crap.
Wow, man, I need to get myself onto one of these retreats.
I'll tell you what, you can do the retreat at home, wherever, whenever you want. I'm going to send you an appreciation for having this chat today. Our mind-free app, which has more than 400 meditation and hypnosis sessions on it.
Oh, thank you so much. That's so sweet of you, Mark. I really appreciate it.
I mean, anyone can get a 7-day free trial. They can go on and just through the Mind-Free app through the Google Play or the App Store and test it out and start using full access for 7 days just to trial it out. They want to do a monthly thing or whatever they want, but yeah, it's cool. It's got lots of great stuff on there.
All right, I'll make sure to link that on the description notes so people can check that out, because I think I think that's so. And we're gonna kind of go into this because I know there's a lot of stigma around hypnosis, and it's like, now you're gonna quack. Like, I think everyone thinks of, I don't know if you saw that episode of Friends when I think it was Chandler got hypnotized and Joey would say something and he would balk like a chicken. And I think people think that's what hypnosis is. And I'm like, no, you actually enter a state of hypnosis naturally when you're in theta state. So we'll jump into that. But before that, because I'm getting way ahead of myself, can we go back to your childhood? You have literally been healing yourself since you were a little boy. Like, that's
sure. Hang on. Let me just go all the way back. All the way back. Okay, I'm back there. As a young child, I had chronic asthma. That was triggered off, I believe, and my mum argues that, oh no, your grandmother never smoked in the house. I clearly remember sitting on her lap. She was a chain smoker, one cigarette off the other, off the other, off the other. She'd smoke 3 to 4 packs a day. So little lungs aren't meant to take in that much smoke, or any smoke, in fact. So I was unfortunate to end up with chronic asthma, and I'd almost died a number of times by the time I was 7 or 8, rushed to hospital a number of times, thinking, and it's when you've had an asthma attack, anyone watching will know, it's like, you can only get in this much air. If you're supposed to get in this much, you're getting in like a couple of percent, and you're thinking, I can't breathe. It's like someone's crushing your chest or someone's squeezing, and there's just no space for air to get in. So, but through the hospital, after one of the big attacks, asthma attacks, the hospital was running a yoga breathing and a meditation course. So I enrolled in that, went to the hospital, did that, whatever it was, 4 or 6 sessions as an 8-year-old, but then, and my mum did it with me, and then she would bring me home and then practice it and encourage me to practice that every day. So I would lie on the ground, I would lie on the bed, I would stand, I would do these meditations and breathing exercises, and that all started around the age of 7 or 8. So I continued that on for a number of years, was lucky to grow out of the asthma at about 12 or 13.
Okay.
And it was always triggered off by emotional events. My father was a heavy drinker. My mum was working 3 jobs and raising 3 kids, all under the age of 10, 12 at the time. So, she had a tough gig. Yeah. But it was always when they were arguing, I would have the asthma attack. And I worked out if I started dying, they'd stop fighting. So I would trigger off. But then that was early on. But then when I realized I don't have to do this anymore, I can just breathe, slow everything down, calm the mind, and not get involved in that, and just go into a state of meditation. So that's what I learned to do. But then as a teenager at 16, I started learning ju-jutsu, qigong, tai chi, and that's where the real, I guess, transformation spiritual journey began. I was doing up to 15 classes a week, traveled to Japan a number of times, trained under, highly regarded masters on everything from energy healing, ki healing, and then in my teens and 20s under Chinese Zen teachers who were also GPs, a woman who was a German psychologist who went to Gita, her name was, she went to Tibet from Germany for a 3-month holiday, and she stayed there for 10 years, ended up becoming the shaved head, fully ordained Tibetan monk, then was teaching in Australia. And I did a number of courses under her in my late teens, and then just kept on that journey of finding teachers, as many teachers as I could, that were, whether it was yoga breathing, whether it was Indian meditation teachers, every book, every course, every video I could watch, every class I could go to, every training program and so on, and continued doing that up until the time I was around 28 or 29. So that was a good, 12 years or more, 14 years. And then just after getting married, found out I had cancer. And it was a rapidly growing 2nd stage lymphoma. I didn't want to go initially down the chemo road because I thought, no, I can meditate this away. I can juice this away. I can just heal myself. I'll start writing the book right now. So I started doing that, and the tumor did shrink from 4 down to 2.5 centimeters just with meditation, qigong, tai chi, and juicing. And I actually did 13 juices a day, 5 coffee enemas a day, vitamin B12 shots in the back, in the hip, in the glutes, and 10 hours of meditation, tai chi, and qigong a day.
Wow.
Now, cutting a real long story short, after 2 years, the tumor was still there at 2.5 centimeters, a bit smaller than a golf ball, near the tail of the pancreas. I thought I'd beaten it. Back to work, back to teaching jiu-jitsu courses, back to everything. And then bang, the tumor exploded and grew. When I spoke to the professor, I said, do you think it's because there was no stress, there was nothing environmental, nothing emotionally that was weighing me down, and I was just meditating for hours a day and juicing for hours a day, that it just didn't grow? And he said, more than likely. And then when I went back to all that, I didn't eat a bad diet, but I neglected the 13 juices, organic cold pressed juices a day. So I was cold pressed juicing before anyone knew what a cold pressed juicer was. We're talking 1990. In the end, I did have to have the chemo. So I combined the chemo with because the tumor grew to about 4.5 inches by 3 inches. So it was a big lump near the tail of the pancreas, the kidney, and causing all sorts of havoc, wreaking havoc with my body and pain and so on. So in the end, I did go in for the chemo, but I went straight back on the full load of juices. I actually doubled the juice. I started doing 26 juices a day, back to the 10 hours of meditation and Tai Chi a day. And the professor said he'd never seen an immune system bounce back so quickly after the cocktail of chemotherapy drugs that I was on. And 30 years later, I'm still here. So I give thanks to the doctors and the power of that medication, but I know that everything else I did, natural and alternative, contributed to that healing. So.
Wow, that is so incredible. But would I have to kind of first of all, thank you for sharing. But more I have to I'm humbled by your own ability to take ego out of the way. Because I feel like when you are on this more spiritual alternative path, sometimes ego can get in the way of going Western medicine when it might be needed, because you're like, no, I can figure this out. So it's so beautiful that you did go about it at first in your own, like, okay, I'm going to do this like this. But then when you returned back to work and you were kind of like, all right, let's continue this on, but I'm going to throw in some of that Western medicine. I think that really shows a lot to how dedicated you are to what you're doing, because it wasn't like, oh, if I'm doing this, I'm tossing this out. Instead, I'm joining forces. And I have so much respect for that. That's so incredible.
And that's the beauty of the area you're working in, the area I'm working in. It's helping people heal at a mental and emotional level, and nutritionally as well, which we need that with whatever we're on. If you've got, insomnia, if you've got depression, if you've got chronic pain, hypnosis works unbelievably well with chronic pain. I just want to share something with you just quickly. So this was me back in the treatment day. Can you see that?
Oh my God. Okay, so I just need to say this. Apart from you losing your hair, you don't look sick.
No. I was the healthiest sick person you'd ever met.
Literally, if I would have met you walking down the street, I would have been like, oh, he has cancer. I would have been like, wow, you're really healthy.
That was actually when they said, around that time when they said I might have only had, this was actually a week or two after they said I might have only had 6 hours to live. And that was 2 years after they said I might only have 6 months to live. So that, because of all the juicing, because of all the meditation, I was happy, I was calm, I was peaceful, I was having organic salads, I was having soups every night. And that's me 30 years ago. And now this is me. So
and you look good for everything you've gone through.
It's been a journey. It's been a journey. We're all on a journey, and we're doing our little bit to help people, feel a little bit better about themselves, know that they can release the past, that they can, be more present and live in the now, that they can move into a future that they want to create, of their own creation, that where they're in control. And we use it through many ways. The positive affirmations of, I'll suggest to people in hypnosis or in stories, you are strong. You are strong. As you hear that thought running through your mind, I am strong. And I say, think of how many things you've survived, how many challenges you've overcome. You are so strong. You're incredibly strong. And then people going, I'm strong, because that's where hypnosis started 4,000 or more years ago in the ancient Egyptian sleep temples. People would come in with a problem, and then they'd be lying on this raised stone tablet bench type thing, and the healing person, the hypnotist of the day, would stand and look over them, and they'd look back up into their eyes, and the hypnotist would just look at them and say, you are well. You are well. You are well. Over and over and over again. You are well. And the person will get up going, I feel fantastic. Did I even have a problem? So because thoughts are energy, thoughts are powerful medicine. And when we can combine that, incorporate that into our everyday life and be mindful of, we can be thinking about our thinking. We can be aware of what our thoughts are doing to us. And it doesn't mean they won't pop up. I'll still have doubts. I'll still have excuses. I'll still, feel angry about something, but I just don't hold on to it for too long. I let it go as quick as I can, and I keep moving forward because there's, too many great projects to work on.
There really are. So I want to talk a little bit about affirmations. Something that affirmations are beautiful, and they very much play a very big role in my own journey. But I feel like something that I see sometimes, it's write it 50 times. I am strong. And I kind of want to, I see where there's benefit in that, but you can say something until you're blue on the face. If you're saying it on a conscious level, if your subconscious doesn't match that, you're never going to kind of link those two together. What are your thoughts on that?
No, you're right. It looks, for some people that will work. The power of affirmation can eventually, because if somebody's telling themselves, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough, they were told that maybe 1,000 times as a child. Or you're a girl, girls can't do that. I mean, that's all changing the last few years, which is fantastic. So I've taught a lot of women's self-defense classes, a lot of women ju-jutsu, and from high school girls to elderly ladies to normal women's groups and so on, and always empowering women to step up, be in control, believe in themselves. And so many of them would come in, but everything scares me because they've been through some tough times. And so the problem with, if you're sitting down and someone says, write this out, write this out, write this out, you can be going consciously, I am strong, I am strong, I am strong. And then the little voice subconsciously pops up, but you're really weak. I am strong, I am strong, I am strong. You're hopeless. I am strong, I am strong. And you're trying to outweigh the subconscious programming consciously. That's where the meditation can come in. That's where the self-hypnosis can come in, where you get into that relaxed state. You're in that deep relaxed state. You're half asleep, half awake. And then from there, you are then doing the positive suggestions. You are listening to a positive suggestion that then sinks into your subconscious mind. So it does help to say it, to repeat it, but I know it's not really true. I know it's not really true because I am this, or I am really that. Some people are so stuck in their beliefs because it's been, they've been told that 1,000 times that they really sort of get stuck there. So that's where we continue to use the positive suggestions. I want to just give you a real quick example.
Yeah.
This has now become one of the most popular sessions on our program. And this is the amazing Linda's voice with Affirmations. Listen, if you can hear this.
I attract abundance.
I like her
I
voice.
treat myself to health. I am healthy and strong.
So that's just a quick example of a 48-minute session with Linda's voice coming in going, I am strong, I can do it. And that sinks into the subconscious mind. Rather than trying to do it forcefully, you do it in a relaxed, healing, calm way. And then on top of that, we've come up with easy to follow moving mantras. They're really affirmations, but they're moving mantras. So for example, I've got here, okay, no worry, no hurry. This is one of my favorite ones. I saw it in a movie about a woman with cancer years ago, an American movie. It might have been Canadian, I don't know, sorry if I'm not sure. But anyway, this woman had cancer and she went to a Chinese acupuncturist, and he was a very philosophical guy, and he said, she was like, oh, I've got to get this done, and I've got to do that, and he just said, no worry, no hurry, no worry, no hurry. And she took that on board, and she was like, and that became her mantra in the movie. So we've done this.
Worry. Breathing out. No hurry. In. No worry.
And that teaches you to meditate a minute or 2 minutes or 3 minutes at a time. That's one of our sessions on the Mind Free app. There's over 400 different, all different types. So
I love that. No, I love that. And kind of with what we're talking about right now and that subconscious programming, that's going to lead us right into self-hypnosis and hypnosis and kind of the theta state. There's a lot of stigma. There's a lot of BS, to put it into very crude words.
And look, that is because of the people doing stage shows going, and when I click my fingers on the count of 3, you're going to think you're Elvis. And there's someone going, oh, when my baby left me, love me true, you know that I love. And so they're up there having fun, or someone's there and they're going, you now think you are Maxwell Smart. And they pick up their phone going, hello, Chief. Yes, this is Max. I'm surrounded by 100 deadly chaos agents. And the Chief goes, I find that hard to believe, Max. And he goes, would you believe I'm surrounded by 10 angry girl guides? And so people are there. That's stage show hypnosis. That's stage show hypnosis. And it is very different to clinical hypnotherapy. So the stage show hypnosis have given us poor buggers a hard time, though.
Literally.
And some people see the stage show and they go, oh, that's just fake. They're a bit drunk. They're being silly. And but the thing is, they're still using hypnosis techniques and they're doing a test with their subjects, with their audience, to see who is the most hypnotizable, who goes into trance the quickest, because we all we're slipping in and out of a hypnotic state 10, 20, 30 times a day. Whenever you're reading a good book and you shut everything out and you're imagining the book as the story as being real, or when you're watching a movie and everything else switches off and you're feeling the feelings and you're imagining it, you're in the hypnotic trance-like state. You're daydreaming. When you're daydreaming about something, you're hypnotizing yourself. But so here's the thing I say. People are already hypnotized. A lot of people are already in the I can't stop eating chocolate trance. They're in the I can't stop drinking trance. They're in the cigarette trance. They're in the I'm not good enough trance. They're in the I'll do it later trance. I'm too busy trance. They're already stuck in a trance. So my job is to help them wake up, to go, it's time to wake up. It's time to snap out of that trance you're in and create a new trance for yourself of a positive, inspired, motivated trance. So the general explanation of hypnosis is a relaxed state with the ability to imagine specific things or certain things as being real. So you can get into that relaxed state and visualize your goal. You can get into that relaxed state and visualize a positive outcome of yourself succeeding. You can visualize a meeting going really well. So a lot of athletes use self-hypnosis. I met Kevin Young a number of years back. Kevin Young was the 92 gold medalist, 400-meter hurdles, Olympic record and gold medal record. And I said to Kevin, how come you won? What was the difference that made the difference? And he said, Mark, every day for 4 years, I visualized myself there getting the gold medal. I visualized the USA flag going up, the national anthem playing. I visualized myself singing along to the song there on the top podium with the gold medal. He said, I did that for 1 minute every day. That's self-hypnosis. Then he said, I visualized myself crossing the finish line with no one in front of me. And then that was part of, then he said, I visualized every step of the race. So we can visualize our goal and we can visualize our action steps. That's self-hypnosis. But there are so many different ways to hypnotize yourself. When you're listening, if I said to you right now, imagine a tree. Close your eyes for a second and imagine a tree or think about a tree. I want you to paint that picture in your mind's eye, any tree at all. Think of the tree, what it looks like, and now open your eyes. What sort of tree did you have?
Palm tree, coconuts.
A palm tree. Okay. I had a willow tree. Someone else watching this might have had an oak tree, or they might have had a boab tree, or any type of tree at all. They might have had a fig tree. They might have had a lemon tree. Yeah. So you're the one hypnotizing yourself. So the hypnotherapist will suggest certain things, but it's your interpretation on the inside that actually makes the hypnosis work. And your willingness and openness to take on board, to let those suggestions sink in, that you are strong, you are capable, you overcome all challenges, and now you see yourself moving forward, you feel yourself moving forward, you think about moving forward, because you are strong, you are amazing, you are amazing. People go, you know what, I am amazing. You are a miracle. I am a miracle. And so then their mindset begins to shift one thought at a time.
Whoa, that's incredible. I love how you were able to break that down into a really digestible way. What about the people, because I know we're going to get people saying this, that say, and I was there, I can't meditate. My mind doesn't stop thinking. I can't listen. So what do you have to say for them?
Fantastic question, Andrea. After 50 years of doing meditation daily, and sometimes multiple times a day, I've got hopefully a good answer. So the thing is, yes, your mind will continue to drift off with thoughts. In the Zen monasteries, where the monks are all sitting there kneeling, they've got the paddywhacker stick guy walking around. He's got this little flat bit of timber, light timber, and when he sees the monk, he knows their mind is wandering off and they've drifted off from the meditation. He goes and gives them a little tap on the shoulder. He doesn't hit them hard, it's just, it brings them back to now. So when we're meditating, let's say we're going to meditate for 20 minutes. Yeah. In that 20-minute meditation, it stands to reason when we have 60 to 70,000, some people up to 90 or 100,000 thoughts a day, that our mind will start to drift off and wander. And so when that happens, it might wander off for 10 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. You just bring it back. It's about reining in the mind, calming the thoughts. It's not about stopping the thoughts. To stop the thoughts completely, even the Dalai Lama thinks of things and then he'll come back to his meditation. He's not in this state of permanent no thought bliss. Nobody is. So, and I've worked with some of the best meditation teachers when I was in my 20s on the planet. I go, how do you stop the mind? How do you stop the thoughts? They go, that's not the aim. The aim is to give your attention to something. And if in that 20 minutes of, let's say it's a candle flame meditation, or let's say you're looking at a leaf or a blade of grass or a flower meditation, You're there doing it for 10 minutes. If in that 10 minutes you were focused for 5, but you drifted for 5, you still did 5 minutes of meditation. If you were, and your mind, even when it was off thinking, your body's relaxed. So you did 10 minutes of body relaxed and 5 minutes of mind very calm and focused. And the same thing, whether it's an affirmation, whether it's, one of my favorites is peace, release. Breathing in peace, breathing out release, and you just peace, release, peace, release. So you might do that, or breathing, simple breathing. So if you're focused on your breathing, just watching or feeling your breath flow in and out, you might do that for a minute or 2 minutes or 3 minutes, and then your mind drifts off. And when you notice that, a minute or 2 minutes or 3 minutes into the daydream, you bring it back to now. Oh, that's right. I'm meditating. I'm here meditating, and I'll come back to my meditation. So that's always my suggestion. And to start off with short meditations, if you've found 30 minutes or 20 minutes or an hour meditation class challenging, pick something simple to meditate on. And whether that's just a cup of tea or a glass of water, to pick up the glass, to feel the glass, to see the reflection of light, to watch the water moving around, to see the whole thing, and then to feel your arm moving, to focus your attention to taste the flavor, the temperature, to swallow it, and to feel it go down. And that becomes a minute or 2 minutes or 5 minutes of meditation, and you really calm down. I can feel just the action of doing that, and the sip slowed me right down. And that's the thing. Here's the reason why it's so important to incorporate meditation into daily life. We have all these thoughts happening. We have all these people around us. People want our energy. We've got to work, or we're looking after someone, or we're dealing with challenges, problems. We're bombarded every minute of the day almost. And then we're watching social media, TV, things, whatever it might be. So our brain is constantly being distracted, being fed information. We've got to overcome challenge. We've got to fix problems. And what happens, we become like, I liken ourselves, the human mind and body, like a pressure cooker. So the pressure keeps building up. This event happens, that event. It keeps building up until it's like, the lid's boiling. The lid's on the top and it's going, and we've got this pressure cooker release valve, which for me is meditation and self-hypnosis. Yeah. But we're not using it. It's there. The pressure's built up. The steam keeps building up. And we're going, and then we've had all that all day, and we come home and your partner or someone says, so how's it going? What do you mean, how's it going? How's it supposed to be going? I had to put up with these idiots all day long. I'm doing this, oh God, it's all too much. I've got to switch off and watch 4 or 6 hours of TV. Or I've got to binge Netflix, or I've got to, switch my mind off. And then that's another stimulation, another distraction where we never truly went inside, went on that inner journey, and calm the mind down. So every time we meditate, every time we do self-hypnosis, every time we do some Tai Chi, every time we do a meditation, a Qigong, whatever that is, every time we mindfully eat an apple, every time we mindfully eat a meal, every time we're mindful for a minute or two while we're walking, it's like the pressure cooker release valve goes down and we feel calmer again. And so we keep countering the build-up of stress, because we can't stop what's happening around us. We can't stop, the way people are doing things, because they're doing it. We can't stop the news and the media. But what we can do is limit the energy we give that. We don't even have a television. We haven't had a television for over 10 years. Either at the little place in Sydney, we haven't got a television here. We haven't got a television there. We just don't have a TV. And so I know what's going on because I'm online and I see bits of information. I hear the radio sometimes, but I don't buy the papers. I don't watch the television because there's too much negative programming, negative input, and I don't want to absorb that. I mean, as tragic as it was when those planes hit the buildings in the US, in New York, the Twin Towers, as tragic as it was, did we need to see it 10,500 times? No, because it keeps burnt, and then it creates all this fear and it creates all this anxiety. And what we're going through now in this new COVID world is there's so much stress on top of the stress we already had. There's so much anxiety and insomnia, and I've estimated the anxiety has more than doubled over the
Oh,
last almost
yeah.
12 months. And because I always ask the question at a seminar, who's got insomnia? 60 to 70% of their hands go up. Who's got anxiety or panic attacks? It used to be 20 to 30%. Now it's around 60 to 70% of the group.
Man, that I feel like it's so scary, but again, it goes back to kind of what you're saying about the Twin Towers and the media. I was reading, I don't remember what I was reading, but someone was sharing about the earthquake that happened in Japan, oh, years ago, like lots of years. I don't remember how long ago, but it was like 20 years ago or something like that. And yeah, this was a long time ago because it was before we had cell phones and internet and all of this. And this American girl, or maybe she was, I don't know where she was from, she was over there and she wanted to give word to her family back home that she was okay, that nothing happened to her. And her family thought she was dead because what the news is showing is that the entire city's destroyed and everyone's dying and all of this. And when she finally was able to talk to her family, she was like, no, everything's fine here. My building is great. The building in front of me is great. Like there's no one dying near me. It's just, we have no power. And I feel like there's always we need to, well, I say we need to because I'm putting myself in media, like if I do media, but we need to continue to get more views and no one's going to want to watch. Guess what? Everything's amazing here, even though we really should want to watch that. So they do need to kind of flip the narrative and instill this fear because as you were saying, that show, you need to go to sleep, but you're trying to watch a crime show at night, expecting to fall asleep afterwards. When we're scared, we're going to continue to like look for that information because we're scared and we need something to tell us it's going to be okay. And if you give that power to external things, because it's not necessarily just media, I feel like right now what's happening is we give so much of our power to the externals that when something happens, that's the dumbest thing. Someone cuts you off in traffic, it ruins your entire day. Going back to that same thing you said at the beginning, the most important meeting you have all day is you. And half the time, we're not putting ourselves first. We're going off with our life. And then we get home and we can't deal with everything that happens. So we turn on Netflix or we turn on the TV or we're in that autopilot. We do what we always do, numb off, and then start the cycle all over again. And then we're wondering why after a few months we're burnt out. Well, you're not checking in with yourself. You're depending on everything externally to keep you going. When in reality, you just need to go inward and really journey within. And I know that it's not something that's easy for everyone. Like for me in my own practice, when I first started, I had a really hard time staying still. I was an overactive kid. Like my mom, they wanted her to put me on Adderall when I was little, and she's very holistic and natural. So she was like, no. She tells me that she would take me to a park and would have me run up a hill and tell me that if I could run 30 times up the hill, then we would get ice cream. By the end of the 30 times, I was dead, and she got what she wanted, was for me to burn out all my energy and go to sleep. Yep. And teachers started to ask her, what are you doing? She's like so much calmer. She's able to sit down. I'm making her active instead of keeping her at home in front of a TV. So for me, I don't have problems like moving. My issue is staying still, and it's been a thing. So when I first started to incorporate the meditation practice, I was literally like everyone, like I can't, my thoughts, they're going, I can't stop. And my meditation teacher, what she started me on was 10 minutes of silence. She was like 10 minutes of silence. And that's all I did for like 2 years. And I remember going up to her, I'm like, when are you going to give me more? This is boring. I'm not meditating. I'm just sitting here. And she's like, yes, in silence though. Then we moved on to something else. And it was, I think we started with a candlelight flame meditation. And it was, look at the flame for 10 minutes. What do you feel? What's happening and all of that? And now I'm in a place where I can go within for 20 to 30 minutes But that mental chatter never goes away. I constantly have to tell myself, okay, thinking brain, I know you want to talk, but come back. And it is a practice. And I feel like we want it to be the switch where I started meditating. Why isn't this working right now? Going back to that thing, it's we need to slow down. We really need to slow down.
I like to liken it to a little mental holiday, an emotional break from all the frantic energy around you, so that you can slow right down. And also it has a cumulative effect. So if you do 5 minutes in the morning, then you do 5 minutes at morning tea and 5 minutes after lunch, then you do 5 minutes when you get home from work, and then you do 5 or 10 minutes before you go to bed, guess what? You've done 30 minutes of meditation. It just adds up. So for the people who are going, I don't have 30 minutes, start with a few minutes. Start with 1 minute, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, or like you did, 10 minutes, and just switch everything off, go into a quiet place, go into a dark room, sit in a garden, sit on your balcony, and just breathe and just notice your breath flow in and out. And as you said, the thoughts will come and the thoughts will go. We just don't do our best to not grab onto those thoughts and then turn it into a downward spiral of negative thinking or worry or stress. We just keep returning to that place of calm.
Oh man, I love that. So I know that right now, you've mentioned this, you specialize in breaking a lot of bad habits. And right now you have this like new sort of guru title, and I don't even like using the word guru, but you're helping people use self-hypnosis to stop the spread of the coronavirus. And I think that's really, really incredible. Would you touch on that a little bit?
Sure. So, as we all know, one of the ways the virus can spread is
I've literally touched my face the entire time.
In the mouth, nose, and eyes, but we do that subconsciously. There was a University of New South Wales study here in Australia with a professor of virology who did a study of medical students and filmed them for 1 hour, and they touched their face 23, on average 23 times an hour, but they touched the wet areas, the mouth, the nose, and the eyes 11 times an hour. So I've estimated, based on that research, that I have touched my mouth, nose, and eyes more than 3 million times. So it's a subconscious habit that's hard to break. Now, we can keep our social distance from someone if we're out shopping. We can wear a mask. We can sanitize our hands, and we can do all these things that we're instructed. Do this. Keep your social distance. Use a sanitizer. Wear a mask. They're telling us what to do, and then they say, don't touch your face. Well, hang on, you tell me don't touch it, but how do I not do something? Yeah. When you give them clear instruction, here's the 1.5 or the 2 meter or the 2 yard rule or whatever it is, the 4 square yard rule, whatever it is. Here's how you wear a mask. Here's how you sanitize your hands and wash your hands as well for 20 seconds, like doctors scrubbing up that actually do. They wash their hands for minutes, several minutes before doing surgery, not 20 seconds. But if we do that, hopefully that's enough. But what happens is we've got our mask on, we've sanitized our hands, we walk into a supermarket, a shopping center, there's another sanitizer, we sanitize our hands again, and then we don't realize, but we rub our eye because it was itchy, because we've rubbed it 1 million times since we're a baby, when our little tight eyes. We scratch our nose, we've sucked our thumb before we were born. So we've been touching our mouth, our nose, and our eyes while we're in the womb. That's a pretty full-on subconscious habit. So I developed a technique when Corona first kicked in, and where you could change the habit and be mindful, especially when you were out, or especially if you didn't know there were people around you who might have touched their nose and touched a door handle of a refrigerator, or picked up an apple and gone, no, I don't like that apple. They've been asymptomatic for 10 days or maybe for 2 weeks. They don't even know they've got the virus. That's the biggest challenge with this virus, is the asymptomatic people, meaning there's so many people walking around not knowing they've got the virus, and hugging people, touching things, etc., putting things down, picking up a handle, and so on. And so basically through 3 techniques, a mindful meditation of being aware of your hands and what they're doing. So you're basically aware, and you just sit and breathe and be aware of your hands and mindful of your hand and arm movement. That's technique 1. Technique 2 was a habit buster, where we'd say, okay, imagine you're about to touch your face, and you're about to touch your face. Stop there. So we actually created a video that went, stop. Big stamp went on, stop. And then from there, we throw that picture away while we bring in a new picture, big and bright over the top, of us meditating, sitting on our hands, squeezing a stress ball, running our hands through our hair, doing something different. So we're replacing one habit with another habit, and that repeats and gets faster and faster and faster and faster. So it's almost like brainwashing the habit away. So, but it's you're in control. You're the one brainwashed. Then the third one was a self-hypnosis. So the 3 techniques. The third one was there is no need to touch your mouth, your nose, or your eyes, your hand. You're aware of your hands. You don't touch your face. You're aware of your hands. There's so many other things you can do with your hands. You are mindful of your hand movement. So we created that video. We put it on our website for free. We put it onto the app so people can do it as a trial. So, on the Mind Free app, people can go onto the Stop Touching Your Face page. They can watch those videos and learn those techniques. So, so we did that as a free thing on the website just to help people reduce. And honestly, I'm not a virology expert. I'm a hypnotherapist. I'm an author. I'm a ju-jutsu teacher. I'm a Tai Chi teacher. I'm a few things. And I'm a relatively good cook. And I like walks on beaches at sunset. But on all that stuff. So there's a few things I do okay. I surf. I'm not great, but I enjoy it. And so on. So I'm not an expert, but the experts tell us one of the ways the virus is spreading is the mouth, touching the mouth, the nose, and the eyes. And that's why they say don't touch your face. But there's never been a clear instruction on how to stop the habit. And I would dare say if more people were, like I just scratched my eyebrow then, just unconsciously. And after I went, I just touched my face, but I didn't touch my eyes, my nose, and my mouth. So it wasn't a wet area. And I'm itchy there. It's not a wet area. So it's the wet areas that are the problem, because if you've got the virus and you're either knowingly or unknowingly got the virus, and you touch your mouth, your nose, your eyes, the virus is now in your fingers. And then you go and pick up a glass, or you pick up a bottle, and then you go, oh, no, I don't want that one. I want the one that's at the back of the shelf. And I'm taking that one. Now the virus is on that container. Someone else picks it up. They get it. They go take that. They put it in their shopping container. They go home. They sanitize and wash their hands. They pick that container up later, because it's known, it's been shown that the virus can sit for weeks on a surface, weeks. And then you go and you're at home, I'm okay. I'm eating something. I picked up that apple, I'm munching on it. And then later on, like a week later or 3 days later, you go, oh, what's wrong? What's wrong? So I think, that's one of the big ways. And the professors are telling us, but no one's giving clear instruction on how to stop it.
No, and we humans we like the path of least resistance. So if you don't give us step 1, 2, and 3, we're not going to do it.
We created the video. We put on our Mind Free app website. We had some major news coverage here in Australia. The #1 news TV show, Channel 7, showed it. A couple of radio stations, like Australia's top radio personality, picked it up and, whoa, this is a great idea. We need to do this. And then I did a few interviews with a couple of things in the US showing how to do that. But I sort of feel like it didn't really get the traction it deserves. It wasn't like, wow, this is amazing. Whereas masks are amazing, sanitizer's amazing, but touching your mouth, your nose, your eyes, I'll just keep sanitizing. But the reality is, if you're touching your mouth, nose and eyes 11 times an hour, can you wash your hands and sanitize 11 times an hour?
No.
That's hundreds of times a day. Are you going to wash and you'd have no skin left.
No, yeah.
So it's about being mindful and going, well, now I'm aware. Are my hands sanitized? Yes, they are. So I can do that. If they're not, well, hang on a sec. So so I think it's important.
Man, I need to figure out a way how I can post that video on my Instagram to bring it out, because I really think that, again, like I said, we like the path of least resistance. And I'm literally touching my face. You can tell people not to do something, but unless we can actually logically find a way to get from that to what you're saying, we're not going to do anything. We're going to be like, oh, okay, sure. So I think it's reprogramming.
It's reprogramming the unconscious mind, the subconscious mind. We have to break a habit. We need to reprogram the subconscious mind to be able to take control.
Yeah, we definitely do. Well, Mark, thank you so much for chatting with us. I really, really appreciate you taking the time to illustrate with all of this information. You are filled with so much gold. I feel like I could continue to talk to you and listen to you all day. So before we leave, can you please let everyone know where they can find you? I'll go ahead and include this in the description note, but just if anyone feels called to work with you.
The best place to check everything out is Mindfree App, all one word, mindfreeapp.com. Go on there. That's our main website. That links to what we do at the retreats. That links to the Mindfree app. It shows where you can, what you get in the program if you want to go on trial, or you can just go to Google or go to the Apple store and just put in Mindfree space app and just download it for, get the monthly subscription, but you get it for 7 days for free. If at the end of 7 days you're going, nah, you just delete it and you never pay anything, and at least you got some sort of benefit. Or you go, hey, that's pretty good. I think it's like $8.50 US a month. So it's like $2 a week to get hundreds of meditation sessions. So it is great value. We've made it as affordable as possible. We're also working towards sponsoring. We've started to sponsor some individual emergency service workers, paramedics and some nurses just individually, but we're working on being able to get that into that sector and developing a way that they can all get that, because they need it. They don't get paid enough. They've got so much on their plate. Their stress is off the Richter scale. Their risk is, they're every day they're going to work to a life-threatening illness. Imagine what their insomnia, what their stress is like. And with our sleep programs, they can switch off. With the habit busters, they can break. If they've started to reach for comfort foods, they can break that habit. But if it's okay, if we've got time, I'd like to just maybe finish with a 1 minute calm down, de-stress meditation. Can we do that?
I would love that. Oh, that's so beautiful. I was going to ask, but I didn't know if that was something you would want to do.
No. So we can do that. So I'll put my Hypnoman glasses on to get you hypnotized. I'm only meditation. We're not doing hypnosis. We're not doing hypnosis. Just a simple minute meditation, a relaxing breathing exercise with a little positive peace release affirmation, which once you learn this, you can take it into your everyday life and 1 minute at a time, counter the everyday stress, counter the frantic energy of people around you, and counter your own internal frantic energy with a simple 1 minute meditation. So go ahead when you're ready, either keeping your eyes open or closed. Either way's okay. But feel your breathing flowing in and out, relaxing your shoulders. Allow the abdomen or your chest to rise and fall with each and every breath. And notice, without even trying, that the breath just falls in and falls out of your body effortlessly. And maybe you can hear some sounds around you. Maybe you hear the sound of my voice, and notice that even that sound of my voice comes and goes, and the sound of outside comes and goes. And in the same way, thoughts come and go. But just for the next little while, do your best to focus your awareness on your breathing, the feeling of your breath flowing in and out. Maybe the sound of your breath flowing in and out. And as you breathe in, I'd like you to think the thought peace. As you breathe out, think the thought release. Slowly breathing in peace and slowly breathing out release. And as you breathe in peace at your own pace and breathe out release at your own pace, you could even start to feel the feeling of peace flowing through you, and feel the feeling of release as you're breathing out, as you let all stress, all worries, all thoughts just drift away, as you continue to breathe in and feel peace and think peace. And when you breathe out, release, feel release, think release. Or maybe you even have an image in your mind for peace. So you could picture that in your mind's eye. It could be anything at all that represents peace to you, from a symbol through to an image or a scene. And release could be anything from birds flying free, or animals running free, or the wind blowing through trees, or a waterfall, or just anything at all. Steam drifting from a teapot. Feel peace, feel release as you continue to breathe in and breathe out. Peace and release. And knowing at any time of day or night, you can just take several slow, deep breaths and breathe in peace, feeling that energy, and breathe out release, letting go of all worries, all stress, let it all drift away, all physical tension drifts away as you continue to breathe in peace and to breathe out release. And letting go, letting go, letting go. And notice that feeling of calm that's flowing through your mind and body right now, that feeling of peace. And bring that feeling of peace back with you now as you slowly open your eyes and become aware, or as you notice everything around you, notice that feeling of peace and calm. And how just in a few simple minutes, you're able to really turn down the stress dial, turn down the energy dial, turn down the thought dial, and feel that peace and release. And in your own time, when you're ready, you can just slowly open your eyes as you're ready.
Oh, Mark, thank you. Wow.
So I think that shows us we don't need to meditate for 30 minutes to get the benefit. If you can, great. If you've got the time, great. But you do 3 minutes at a time. We just did 2 or 3 minutes. You do 3 minutes at a time, 5 to 10 times a day. You've done 20 to 30 minutes of meditation a day, and it has that cumulative effect. And then you'd spend maybe a bit more time going to bed, listening to some beautiful music, some harp or violin or piano, instead of watching the stressful crime show. I'm not saying don't watch it earlier, and set the routine and the ritual for slowing the mind down in that last 10 or 20 or 30 minutes, and get ready, to let your body heal as you go off to sleep for the night, and just take time out any time of day or night to just slow down and switch off.
Man, I want to just record you and keep you with me anytime I need a kind of recenter. Thank you so much for that. That was really, really, for me, I felt it. I left this kind of space for a moment. So thank you for that. I
My
look
pleasure.
forward to looking into to your app. I'm really, really intrigued. Linda's voice is so, go ahead and let her know. She really does have it, this angelic voice.
It is. It's ethereal. It's dreamy. It's floaty. And people say just a few minutes of listening to Linda's voice, I feel it healing. I feel it healing my mind. I feel it healing my emotions. And I feel everything just drift away. So between Linda's dreamy, hypnotic, almost singing voice, her angelic voice, and you are more relaxed, my hypnotic voice, it's a good combination, and it's nice to be able to have that choice. So we're adding more and more of Linda's sessions to the Mindfree app, so you can have the choice between that female energy, the male energy, the dreamy voice, the stronger, you can do it voice, and just keep resetting, flipping the switch in the mind, and letting go, because that's really what it's about. It's about letting go of what we've held on to, letting go of our old story, creating the new story, be more present, and keep moving into a future that you create yourself.
No, definitely. Mark, thank you so much. I'm definitely going to reach out to you again. I felt a really beautiful connection, and I really want to help get your message out. So I'll reach out and then see if we can do something else together.
For sure. It was my pleasure to be on the show. My pleasure to chat to you, to chat to your people. everyone that's watching right now and listening, and that we all need support. We all need a little bit of help. We all need some encouragement. We all need some kind words. We all need a little bit of compassion, understanding. We all need a little bit of extra love. We can never have enough happiness. We all work together, and the more people that are meditating, the more people that are understanding and compassion, knowing that everyone's going through their own stuff, that that if we knew better, we do better, that we've got our own journey we're all on, but when we can take time to go on that inner journey, to let the healing begin or continue on, then the more we do that, the better off we are, our community, and the whole planet.
Oh man, I couldn't have said that better myself. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. This was an absolute pleasure on my end. I hope you all have a beautiful, beautiful day. And I really recommend you go back and re-listen to that little short meditation. Really, really powerful. All right, guys, see you soon. Bye.